Bring it on. Want some, get some.
Can I get a hell yeah?
Yes, I am a pirate.
You have to go with the pirates because, of course, they have cannons and everything.
It's a pirate's life for me.
Be proud of who you are and what you are. You're a pirate.
It is a first down. Pirates.
Because when you're at East Carolina, you go for it every time. Or you don't coach at East Carolina, you don't come to East Carolina, you don't play at East Carolina with a weak heart. Write it.
I think I've ever been in a building as loud as that was. It was deafening in there.
We will get Omaha. I can promise you that.
Red and purple all night long in Eastern North Carolina.
You're watching The Sports Objective, the podcast for Pirates.
Yeah. My heart is purple and gold. I'm a pirate down to my soul. And I don't back down, not at all. Find out when the cannons explode.
Welcome into the Sports Objective here on Sunday night, as always. It's a little bit different crew tonight, just me and Stevie Fly. Dave Richmond's having internet issues. Matt's kind of taking some time off. He'll rejoin us as we get closer to football season and throughout the year. Until then, Bubba is on sabbatical for a while. Dave will be back next week, but tonight it is just me and the one and only Stevie Fly. Maybe Dave will join us as the show goes on, depending on his internet. But Stevie, what's going on, brother?
What's up, buddy? How's everything going?
Man, it's going. Tell you what, dude. A lot to talk about. When you look at Pirate Athletics, obviously the basketball team's red hot, have won 3 in a row. First time, or just the second time in American Conference play that we've won 3 in a row. We haven't won 4 in a row. I think the last time we won 4 in a row was in CAA with the Pirates beating South Florida this past Saturday. So this just goes to show how bad the basketball program has been. This is just the second time, or the first time in American play, second or first time. I should have my facts better, Stevie, but that we've won 3 in a row in American Conference play.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it last week. There was a lot of close games that they could have won. The Memphis game, they played well in the second half in the Memphis game. No, was it Memphis?
Yeah, we took Memphis down to the wire.
74-70. 74-70. So we were talking a little bit about that last week, about if they get on a roll the second half of the year, watch out for the Pirates. And it looks like we were right.
Yeah, with the win over South Florida, that is the 3rd win in a row, and 2 of those wins were on the road over Wichita State and Tulsa. Come home and beat South Florida. No midweek game this week. You don't play again until next Saturday against Temple. Temple just upset Memphis. So I don't know if we're catching catching Temple at the right time. We already beat them here at Greenville, and now it's going to be at Philadelphia. But it'll be interesting about how we play down the stretch. There's still a lot of opportunities out there to win a lot of ball games. I counted earlier, and I believe if we were to win out, we would win 22 games. And I'm not saying that would happen or is going to happen, but you still have a lot to play for in terms of postseason. Of course, you go to the conference tournament, Stevie. You always have a chance to go to the NCAAs that way, but I don't know how many wins it would take realistically to get an NIT discussion, but CBI is certainly out there if we can have a winning season, and that's something. Look, people might laugh at the CBI, but for East Carolina basketball, if we were to post a winning season and make the CBI, that would be a huge step.
Any postseason tournament would be a great step for ECU basketball right now. Where you think about, you talking about them winning out, which we realistically, it's it could happen, but we're not really saying they could win out. But you never know. When was the last time ECU basketball posted a 20-game win season?
When we won the CIT tournament in 13.
Right.
We would have had to have won 20 because of the amount of postseason play. I can't remember what the exact record was. That's where you need Bubba. He would know that right off the top of his head. But that would have been the last time. In terms of the regular season, man, it would have had to been, I think, when Dooley was here the first time. We won 19 or 20 one year, if I remember correctly. So it's been a
What
long
about
time.
what?
I mean,
What
I
was
just honestly, Stevie, I'd just be happy with you give me 2 games over 500 to finish everything and make the CBI. I'd be happy. I know it's pretty low standards, but it's just being honest.
what was their record with Lester Lives? It seems like they made the NCAA tournament that year. I know they
I don't
won
remember. We were a middle of the pack CAA team.
they
I think
won the
maybe
tournament and got
towards
in.
the top, but not like fifth maybe in the league. And then went on the run in the Colonial tournament and won the
Right.
thing and went to the big dance. But um, I don't know what the record was that year either. I mean, our basketball program, has been historically one of the worst in all of NCAA. So, uh,
They were that year. That was the 92-93 season. They were
yep.
13-17 in the regular season.
Wow, I didn't realize we were that bad. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have access to every year's record right now?
Can what year you looking?
Give me 97 because some reason like 96, 97, or maybe 97, 98. I'm thinking we won 19 or 20 under Dooley, but I could be remembering wrong.
All right, now 94-95. They were 18-11 with Eddie Payne.
Okay.
Uh, let's see. No, Dooley's best record was
I thought he had a 19 or 20 win season, but I could be wrong.
17-10 season.
My 17 and 10 season. Okay. All right. So the past,
Now Eddie Payne in 94-95.
yeah, that was the year after that he left for Oregon State.
He had an 18-11 record that year.
Yeah, that was they went to Oregon. He left, took the Oregon State job and left us. Look at 2013 when we won the CIT. How many wins do we have that year?
Getting there. Give me a second.
This is quality podcasting material right here.
Yep. Great.
It's what you get with me and Stevie. If you don't like it, turn the channel.
On the fly
Meets the
podcast. No
sports
pun
objective.
intended.
Yeah. Okay, I thought you were going somewhere else with that.
2012-13, they were 23-12.
Yeah, you go. That was the CIT
That was with
win.
Lebo.
Yeah, it was Lebo. It's the year we won the CIT tournament. So, and we're, look, hey, we might not win a game the rest of the year also. This is East Carolina basketball, but a 3-game winning streak is something to get excited about for ECU because we've just been that bad historically. So anytime you can speak well of Pirate basketball, you're in rare air. So,
Yeah,
I'm,
there's been some crappy years.
say the least. So, go up to Temple next Saturday, see if we can get 4 in a row. Stevie, we're not going to sit here all night and go on and on and on about things. We're going to jump around topics just to say we did something here on a Sunday night. We'll be back more to our normal show next Sunday. But East Carolina this weekend, we'll start it off Friday night. I went over to the bowl. I don't know what you want to call it, party celebration to honor the Military Bowl win and the team beating NC State. Good turnout. I don't know that there was originally scheduled for Harvey Hall. They moved it to the basketball practice gyms in the Hall of Fame area. I think they were, I don't know if they were happy with the crowd or not. By the email I received when they announced they were moving it, they said the first 500 people would get a towel and everyone would get a poster. I don't know if they ran out of towels. I don't know how many people were there. It was hard to gauge that crowd. It was laid out. They did a really nice job laying it out. They had the majority of the team in one room. They had Coach Harrell and the bowl trophy and folks from Team Boneyard doing a raffle in another room. Then you kind of had you kind of had Hauser and Rajay Harris sitting in between. So it was nicely spread out where you could talk to everybody you wanted to talk to, meet everybody you wanted to meet, get anything you wanted to get signed, and kind of keep things flowing. It's a nice job by everybody at ECU who put that together, and it was a good time. I don't know how much money was raised from the raffle they had going on for Team Boneyard. But they had quite a few things being raffled off. I think they had a bowl jersey. I think they had an autographed football. I think lunch with Coach Harrell. Several different things. And saw a lot of listeners there the other night who said hey. So I always appreciate that. And it was a good time. Talked to Rajay for a while. Talked to Coach Harrell. Talked to Hauser. It was a good time had by all. And if you went, the posters they gave out were nice. The towels were nice. Saw a lot of kids getting things signed. I got two posters. I got Rajay, Blake, and Hauser to sign both posters. I'm not sure yet, but I'm thinking about raffling one of them off framed for Team Boneyard. I'll decide for sure if that's what I'm going to do with it. Part of me wants to keep both just for memorabilia's sake, but might do that, Stevie. Stevie, how much? First bid. If I'm raffling one of those posters off, you get first bid. Go ahead.
First bid on a autographed
Yeah, we got it's a
autographed
bowl
by Hauser and
championship.
Raji.
Rajay Hauser and Blake is the autographed bowl championship
At
poster.
least you need to put at least 100 on there. The first bid.
First bid. Stevie's got first bid, $100. All right, so there you go. There
Putting
you
in the
go. So
spot, buddy.
we'll go from there. We'll see if I actually auction it. We'll hold you that first bid. Uh, don't worry, I think it'll go for higher. So,
I
but
think so too. It
yeah,
should.
yeah, definitely. But no, it was a cool event. If you went, hope you enjoyed it. Then Saturday, obviously, we talked about the win over South Florida. They again honored the team halftime of the bowl game. And what we got here?
Justin Butts is already up to bid to 500.
Justin, if you want that for 500, my friend, no, I'm not gonna say you got it. Justin, I won't say you got it because I do want to see if we can get it higher than that. But if uh, I'll tell you what, if Justin's willing to go 500 on it, I will officially put it up for auction. Justin, if you're
Justin's like, wait a
serious,
minute.
and if he's Justin serious, I will officially put it up for auction and get a post in the next couple days on the page, and we will start the bidding at 500.
KC from YouTube said, "Nice to meet you at the event, Kyle." I don't know who KC is. You know?
Yeah, I believe. Well, I met a couple different people. I believe Casey was the gentleman whose wife won season tickets that we were giving away back in 22. Excuse me, 21, which I don't even remember doing. I do now that he talked about it. The show had given them away, but I had completely forgot we had done it. Anything that happened around 21, 22 is a blur to me because I got chemo. So I get my stuff comes back to me, but he'll be at 550. Semenza will be at 515. All right. All right.
Can I get 530? Can I get 530? I'm
All
gonna
right,
go
so
into the
Semenza's got
auctioneer bid.
515 on this. All right,
I
so we're
can't.
going.
I can't do the auctioneer's voice, but I'll try my best.
So we're going to put this up. We're going to put this up for bid officially on the Sports Objective page. I'll get it up this week. And
Oh look, Justin is throwing stuff out. He said, "I'll throw in 4 tickets in the suite."
wow, are
And
you
now
serious?
Justin has upped the bid to 520. So can I get 525, Matt?
So all right, so Justin, are you offering me 520 plus 4 tickets in the suite for the
Wow. I
for
think he
the?
was talking about putting
Are
4
you
tickets.
arguing 4 tickets for the auction for Team Boneyard, or are you
Yeah.
offering me 4 tickets in the suite?
He said we need to do one for a ride on the Queen QA3, Kyle.
Hey, well, we can do that. I have
That would
no
be
interest,
awesome.
Justin. I have no interest in riding on it, despite the multiple times it's been brought up. But I guarantee you, somebody would. So,
Oh,
but Justin,
daggum right
seriously,
they would.
get with me after the show on Facebook Messenger about what you're talking about with those sweet seats. If you're being serious, in terms of if you want to put them up for an auction or what.
Craig just said the original conversation was a poster autographed by Rajay, Hauser, and Blake that Kyle got at the
Bowl
bowl party
celebration Friday
Friday
night.
night.
Yeah. So I will, since we got up to 5:30 now from Justin, and
Well,
I'm not
he's got 520 now. Don't
520. Okay, I'm not sure if he's offering the sweet seats as part of his bid, or if he's offering them as part of the auction, or if he was just joking. But we'll talk about that off the air.
he
But
says he
go
says
ahead.
he's offered it to Team Boneyard.
He's offering Team Boneyard as part of the bid. So we're gonna. All right, Justin, I'm gonna get with you off the air about
Yeah,
about those sweet seats. And that sounds weird. Sweet seats.
wheat seats.
Seats in the suite. and
He's a
and
philanthropist.
he is. I don't even start that TV. Good God. Inside joke. We'll explain here in a minute. But far as bids on the poster, I'm gonna get with Justin off the air, and we're gonna discuss things, and I may officially put that up for bid on the Sports Objective Facebook page here in the coming week. So check back for that. But I need to talk to Justin off the air and see what he's offering and how serious he is and all that. But anyway, glad to see the interest. Was not expecting
Oh yeah,
that kind of interest immediately. Stevie, you got off the got off the hook for the $100 in a hurry.
heck yeah. I was glad to start it. I mean,
Like,
but
yeah,
glad
no,
to
no
see where it
kid.
went. I look like a cheapskate, don't I?
Nah, when you want to go ahead and bet 600 and see if you can
No,
just keep the no.
look.
No.
I watched the episode of Sanford and Son the other day, and they were doing an auction for an item they had found, and Lamont was over there telling Fred about you need to bid on your own item to kind of get the crowd
Yeah.
bidding, and Fred ends up Lamont stops, and then Fred ends up going overboard. And I think he bid. I think it was they paid like $500 for the thing, and he bid $1,000 and won it, his own thing.
Wow. Well, congratulations, Fred.
So I'm not going to be a Fred Sanford.
You big dummy.
Big dummy.
Yeah, great show. So we got Stevie, you mentioned earlier about how you were one of those things that give money away. I
What?
can't say that word. Don't say it, Stevie. I can't say it.
Oh, hold on. We got a winner here.
All right. We got
$530 and 2 free passes to the Golden Corral from Matt Semenza. He's throwing 2 free tickets to the Golden Corral.
two passes to the Golden Corral. God damn.
Is that
Wait a minute.
buffet?
I see it is. And see, I think that's a fat joke. That's what that is. That's what that is.
I like that.
That the Golden Corral is, of course, at one time was owned by the Maynards as from ECU, Maynard's Children's Hospital. James is it James and Connie Maynard? Don't get me. Oh God, I'm gonna get the name screwed up now. But the they owned Golden Corral at one point, corporate. I don't know if they still do. I'm not sure who owns it now, but that has ECU roots. Interestingly enough,
Right. Before we I wanted to mention this because it was on my mind. Of course, NFL playoffs going on right now. But I'm always, I'm a big NFL fan. Sometimes I probably know more about the NFL than I do college football. I definitely know more. But mock drafts start coming out this time of year. And Siobhan, before he got hurt, was really highly touted
yeah.
in the NFL draft. And some stuff came out this week. Mel Kiper Jr. You remember him, right, Kyle? Who the hell is Mel
Of course.
Kiper Jr.?
Yes, I don't follow NFL football that much, but I know who Mel Kiper Jr. is. Yes, Steve.
Mel Kiper Jr., of course, he's a big NFL draft analyst for ESPN. One of the most famous clips out there as far as draft wise was the Colts picking, I think it was Trev Alberts from Nebraska. And Mel Kiper was he just blasted the pick. And I think the Colts owner came on the screen for an interview. I think he had a little bit of drink in him, but he was like, I listen to this guy every year. Who the hell is Mel Kiper? Who is it? He said, I think he ended up saying my mailman knows just as much as Mel Kiper does about the draft. But anyway, he's a much respected draft analyst over the years. And he had hold on, I've lost my screen now. He had where Siobhan, he thinks he'll end up in the draft.
Yeah, Siobhan.
He's got Siobhan going first round, and unfortunately got him going 27th overall to the Baltimore Ravens.
Hey, look, let me tell you something. If I joked the other day that I was going to become a Ravens fan. If they have Keaton Mitchell and Siobhan Revel, I'm going to have to probably if the color scheme works, purple and gold wants to change anything.
Shut up.
So jump on that Ravens bandwagon. Are they more purple and black? I guess actually still won't have to change much.
Yeah, they don't have gold in.
I thought they had some gold accent to them.
They used to have some gold accent to it, but Yeah, that was a couple of years ago. I think it's kind of an alternative thing. Sometimes they wear.
Okay, gotcha. Well, yeah, I might have to if they take Rebel with Mitchell already there, I might have to legitimately become a Ravens fan. So me and Stevie can have heated discussions about the Ravens and his
Yeah,
Pittsburgh Steelers.
we'll have a lot of great discussions about that if you become a Ravens fan.
And speaking
Sure.
of NFL, our host and the founder of this podcast, Dave Richmond, he is a big Redskins fans or Commanders, whatever you want to call them. They lost
Ugh.
today, bad to the Eagles. So
Oh yeah.
sympathies to Dave tonight as he mourns his Redskins.
Well,
I
here's what
I know a
I'll
lot of
say to.
people in this area, grew up. We didn't have the Panthers, Stevie, as you know, until '94. So most people grew up around here and were Redskins fans, and particularly up where you're from in Virginia. I mean, you were really in Skins country, and so
You
you being,
philanthropist, you.
yeah, I know. So you being a Steelers fan, but anyway, point was a lot of people disappointed tonight in Eastern North Carolina.
Well, here's what I have to say to the Washington fans, and I even told some Washington fans early in the week. No matter what happens, you look at where this franchise is now compared to what it was 3 years ago when Daniel Snyder was still the still the owner, not owners. But you look at that, you've got a quarterback in place, a franchise quarterback in place with Jaden Daniels. You've got about a little over $80 million in cap room. You've got 8 draft picks, I believe, and you've got free agents saying they want to come to Washington now. 3 years ago, this was one of the worst franchises in the NFL. Nobody wanted to come there. You couldn't even sell out the stadium anymore, where that used to be. I mean, it was always sold out. It was in the franchise was in a really, really bad state. Yeah, and now you're going in the right direction. And they played like a team that hadn't been in the big game before. 4 turnovers, and I believe all 4. I may be wrong. I know 3 of the 4, maybe all 4 ended up with touchdowns for the Eagles. So 28 points or even 21 points, you can't win like that. Not against a good team in a championship game.
Yeah, nah. So Redskins definitely heading in the right direction when you look at how bad they've been over the last 20, 30 years. So getting to the NFC Championship game is a huge deal for the Redskins, and their fan base should be proud and best they've done in years, and they'll continue to
Yeah.
build. So
Yeah,
only,
something to build off of. I would definitely be. I'd be disappointed as a Redskin fan
but
tonight, but
excited
I'd
for the
be
future. Yeah.
excited for the future. Exactly.
Yeah, no doubt. Uh, this weekend, a lot of recruiting going on for East Carolina with the traditional signing date of February 5th coming up. You had some guys into the portal late. Kid from Vanderbilt, starting defensive lineman for the Commodores over the last few years, entered the transfer portal as a graduate transfer and was visiting East Carolina this weekend. Kid with the last name Lee, can't remember his first name. Stevie, we all know that is my weakness of all weaknesses is remember people's
Names:
names. Yes, but
Devin Lee.
I got his
Devin
last
Lee.
name Lee. That's for me. That's pretty
His
damn good.
name. His name is Devin Lee.
Devin Lee. He is somebody that starting experience in the SEC, over the last 4 years on and off starter, is a guy that if we could land would be huge. You're going to have to throw some money at him. I don't know. We had a few 100,000 left in the boot for NIL. Stephen Butts. Jesus Christ, I'm combining Igo and Justin Butts. Justin Butts may be able to give us a little info on the amount of money left in Team Boneyard, but I heard it was a few 100,000 for football. So, I'm sure we offered him some cash. We had a junior college All American defensive lineman also visiting. Benton was his last name. Benton, again, horrible with names. Um, he's another kid. You make All American at any level. You're a stud. You're gonna be a player. Um,
Aiden Benton.
Aiden Benton, I got his last name right again. Hell for me, give me 5 stars. But He's another kid that you probably have to offer a little money to have some opportunities. And then another junior college player, the top rated wide receiver in all of junior college. He originally signed with Arkansas coming out of high school. And Stevie, do you have his name?
Got the first name. I butchered the last name.
All right.
Samuel is Mbake.
Samuel L. Jackson. We
That wasn't good.
Samuel, he top rated wide receiver in junior college is visiting this weekend, and another kid you probably have to offer some money to. You definitely are going to have to offer some money to. He has plans to visit Boise next after he visits here. Um, if you could land two out of those three, it would be a huge weekend. If you were to get all three, I think it completely changes the dynamic of the football team and the recruiting class. You're talking about two guys that would start on the D line immediately, and a guy that on paper would be a standout at wide receiver. Um, I guess if I had to pick two of the three, I would take the two D linemen, but certainly I would like to have the receiver too. Um, I think if you don't get at least one of them, particularly one of those D linemen, boy, is this weekend a bust. But all three of those kids were on campus this weekend. At last check, I had not seen any updates on any of the three, if any of them, committed or not. But you hope so. You hope you don't come away over three. And sometimes you
No.
don't. And sometimes you don't hear right away. I messaged Digo to see if he had heard anything earlier. He didn't respond. I'm sure I'm not his top priority, and he's not going to give me the info before he gives it to anybody else. What we got here?
Justin Butt says if it was about money, there's some money left in the pot for the right fit.
Yeah, exactly. Justin, are you hearing anything um, in terms of those three? If you are, please let us know because
Yeah.
they are guys we need to get. And I can tell you, you say the right fit, Justin, and that's exactly what I asked Coach Harrell Friday night about Leanne Benton specifically. And I said, how do you feel about getting them? And he said, good, really good. I think they're the right fit. That was his exact quote to me. So I hope things worked out financially. And I hope they had a good time in Greenville. Good weekend to come. A little snow still on the ground. That's not typical of Eastern North Carolina. But you had the bowl party Friday night. You had basketball Saturday. Good weather today. I know it more or less all that matters still. Classes matter still. The being in the right locker room and the right fit matter. But unfortunately, so much of what makes the decision now is money. What was the comment, Stevie?
He said he hasn't heard anything yet.
Okay, well. Justin's heard nothing. So between Igo and Justin, I have no news to report to our viewers and listeners on the recruiting situation for those three kids. But again, uh, three guys you really would like to get, Stevie, and you coach high school ball, and anybody who follows football knows how important the defensive line is. Those two kids, they're difference makers. You got a junior college All American, and you got a guy who started in the SEC multiple seasons. Uh, those are guys if you can get them, would make a huge difference.
Justin said from what he was told, they were at the event Friday and the game Saturday.
Yeah, yeah. I know the visits were Friday through Sunday for all three of them. So I don't know. Hopefully it worked out.
We need to bring Justin on screen. I mean, he can fill us in. He can be like the Adam Scheffler of the of the Sports Objective podcast.
Stevie, at this point, we might have to, we might have to just, go into the pool of listeners for co-host here. Dave, as I mentioned before, if anybody's wondering where Dave is, he's having internet troubles. Matt is more or less taking a sabbatical, but he's also on a flight to Dallas. He's still contributing.
He's listening in.
Yeah, he is, and he's still going to contribute for football discussion. Matt really doesn't want to take part in much basketball, baseball talk, particularly. So we'll hear from Matt throughout the season about football up until we get to the summer and we get honed back in on football. Bubba's taking some time off. He'll rejoin us in the summer as we talk more baseball. Stevie, in the coming weeks, I don't know if you're going to take part in baseball, but we'll be having extra innings this baseball season. Dave will be back hosting. I'll be joining Dave along with former ECU baseball player D.H. Conley, coach. And after he was at East Carolina, he transferred to North Carolina Wesleyan and won a national championship. Paul Hill, if you know Paul from ECU baseball or D.H. Conley, Paul Hill will be joining us each and every Sunday night for extra innings this year to lend his expertise on the game of baseball as we cover the Pirates throughout the baseball season, and be a little bit different feel to extra innings this year, but it still should be quality. I think Paul Hill will be a huge addition with his knowledge of the game of baseball. One of the most knowledgeable baseball people out there, and in Eastern North Carolina for sure.
We got to talk a little bit too, Kyle, about the schedule change for next year.
Yeah, good call, Stevie. Yeah, East Carolina NC State season opener in Raleigh. Game moved to Thursday night, August 28th. That is the first time that I can remember the Pirates opening this. No, that's not true. We've opened the season on a Thursday before. I was about to tell a lie. But in recent history, that the Pirates have opened the season on a Thursday night. In Raleigh. I mean, you talk about a game. Anytime the Pirates and the Wolfpack hook up, as we, know from the bowl game, it's an intense game. Pirates just beat the Wolfpack, so we have confidence again that we can beat them because we just did it. The Wolfpack always looks down. I remember beating Carolina in 13, Stevie, and going into the excuse me, yeah, let me get my years right. In 13, yes, and then going into the game in 14, them saying, that before the game, I remember one of their players leading up to the game. I'm talking about the Tar Heels saying, they beat us last year. Now they think they're above us, but they're beneath us. And we had just beaten them the year before, and they come in our house and we put 70 on them. So the point of this is, despite us just beating NC State in the bowl game, I wouldn't be surprised to hear the same narrative from them that was a fluke. This isn't a rivalry. It's their
Right.
Super Bowl. You would think you would kind of change your direction, but I still expect to hear the same disrespect. Now, personally, I hope I do. I hope I do because I think anytime they do that crap, they're playing right into our hands.
Yeah. So Matt made a comment. Looks like no commits at least this weekend. The Vandy D tackle has to be top priority.
No, wow. That's not good to me, Matt. If all three were none of the three committed, that's not good. That doesn't mean we won't get them, but it either means that we're not putting enough money out there, or coaching staff's having trouble closing. But those three big time three big time prospects that's a shame. If that's it sounds like they didn't say no, but they didn't commit. So that means they left campus without saying yes. And maybe that changes in the coming days.
Yeah, Justin talking about the Thursday night game. Imagine how many drunks going to be, and Wake County Detention Center going to have a busy night.
Yeah, no doubt. I can't tell you the last time East Carolina and NC State played a night game except the bowl, but on campus in Greenville or Raleigh. I can't remember the last time that game was at night during the regular season.
And he's saying, let's look at 2024. We sweep them in baseball, beat them in soccer, and then beat them in the bowl game.
Yeah, Pirates dominate the Wolfpack on the field and the diamond and the pitch. Is that what they call it in soccer? In 2024, and hopefully the domination continues on Thursday night, August 28th. And we'll find out what channel that game's going to be on. It'll be on the ESPN network, whether it be ESPN, ESPN2, or the ACC network. My guess would be ESPN or the ACC network.
Yeah, that's what I would think. Well, Thursday night game just depends on what that schedule looks like for that Thursday night. I don't know.
Well, I know you got Minnesota, Cincinnati. I'm figuring that'll be on Fox. There's a couple other games that have already been announced, but it'll be it'll be ESPN or ACC network, one of the two. So it'd be good exposure, and a game that they clearly intentionally moved. ESPN did it.
They did it for some reason. Yeah,
exactly.
Somebody wanted it.
Exactly, and after you don't get a lot of rivalry with games week one, and after the bowl game's got a little heat to it. with obviously NC State and the Pirates getting into the brawl on the field. And yeah, the game just always means a lot, despite what NC State wants to lead you to believe.
I think we've talked about it. Like not maybe the first week, but week 0. They need to have like or at least a big rivalry game on week 0.
I think Army
Uh,
Navy would be the perfect fit.
yeah,
I think you could then have that as a conference game for I don't see how this is going to keep working with them two being in the same league and it not being a league game. You had Army win the conference, then turn around and lose to Navy, who they're in the same conference with the following week. And if you're Navy, are you scratching your head a little bit, going, well, now we would have been playing for the conference championship potentially. So uh, that game has got to be, and I think week 0 you keep it special. You
yeah,
kind of the Daytona 500 philosophy.
I got you. Justin said he's here, and ESPN might be covering that game.
Yeah, well, it's definitely going to be ESPN or the ACC network. It's definitely going to be an ESPN network because they have the rights to the ACC games. Definitely, whether it'll be the mothership ESPN or put over on ACC network, time will tell. But yeah, I'm still sitting here, Stevie. The recruiting news there from Matt that it looks like nobody committed this weekend is it's very disappointing. I was hoping to at least get one of the three.
Well,
So
it's not
that's
over yet. Like you said, they didn't say no, but they just didn't commit.
yeah, but you'd like to have gotten one of them. I don't know. Maybe it's a money deal where we're still trying to work some figures out. I don't know. But you had them here, and we didn't close it. So that's not to me that's not good.
Oh.
So, Stevie, anything else we should discuss, man? You got anything? We're 37 minutes here to the show. Kind of hit all the high points for East Carolina athletics for this week. Nothing else is coming to mind. I think season tickets go on sale for football next month. And you got baseball fixing to start up. You got East Carolina Temple Saturday. See if the Pirates can stay hot on the hardwood. Anything else that you want to talk about?
Not ECU wise, I think we hit all the points that we were looking to this week.
Yeah, no, I think that's pretty much it. Anything else you want to touch on? Any personal topics? Would you like to discuss politics? Maybe religion?
No, I'm looking at freaking uh, a heck of a game right now in the NFL playoffs. Bills and the Chiefs. Chiefs just went up 29-22. Still early in the fourth quarter, but it's been back and forth. You know, I guess I did a live I guess podcast tonight twice today, covering part of the Eagles Redskins, and I call them the Redskins. I'm like Johnny Robinson; they'll always be the Redskins to me. And now with the Chiefs and the Bills, some of the calls today, and I mean I don't want to harp on the referees too much, but I know Justin's umpire, but there was an altercation in the Eagles Redskins game. The defensive back for the Redskins and they and a wide receiver for the Eagles been talking junk the play before, and it was near the goal line. The Eagles scored a touchdown. They got to pushing and pulling on each other's helmet. The Redskins defensive back gets his helmet pulled off. And granted, it should have been a penalty on the Redskins guy, but it should have been offset in penalties. Um, and they called it on just the Eagles. I mean, on just the Redskins, excuse me, my bad. But it didn't hurt the Redskins. Well, I'm not saying it would have
Made a difference in the outcome of the
made
game.
a difference. But I've seen that happen hundreds of times, and it's always offsetting. Yeah, and Justin's talking about the goal line stand, this tush push or the
Electric slide.
electric slide
or any other line dances from the 90s.
So
some people are laughing at that. Some people have no idea what the hell I'm talking about.
I know, but the Eagles do that tush push, and all these defenses are trying to come up with different ways to stop it. And
my favorite tush push ever was the USC Notre Dame game from 2005, I think.
All right. I got you. What is? Remind me of what that was.
Uh, it was winning. I can't remember if it was USC or Notre Dame. They had the winning touchdown. That was a famous tush push in that game. Um,
Okay.
now I'm trying to remember the. You had to put me on the damn spot. Just look, Stevie. Just don't try to get me to explain anything. Just
You
let
don't
me
remember
talk in
names
big
anyway.
broad. Let me talk in big broad areas. Don't ever ask me
But
for specifics.
anyway, with the tush push, Washington's trying to stop them. So one of the ways to try to stop them, the linebackers try to come over the top. Well, this linebacker for Washington took it to a little to an extreme. He he dives over the top of the pile before the ball snap. He's trying to time it. And of course they called encroachment. Well, next play he does it again. And some things are said. The referee says they are warning Washington for doing it. If they're doing this deliberately, there will be actions. So the next play, one of the interior defensive linemen jumps offside and at this point the Eagles are like, they're not snapping the ball at first. Their cadence, their cadence is changing up and it's drawing them offside. And the referee comes out again. They have been warned that if this is intentional, they could award a touchdown to Philadelphia.
Wow, I've never heard of that rule.
That is a very obscure rule but I'm disagreeing with that as far as the referees making that call because you're trying to stop that tush push. You're trying, and with the cadence like that, you get in the middle of that line and you're trying to time that. And then when he does like the hut like that, you're trying to time it. You what are you supposed to do? It's not like they're doing it intentionally because they're moving up like half the distance to the goal each time. And they got to a point where they were getting a quarter of a yard every a play. So and then a few minutes ago in this Buffalo Kansas City game, pass from Patrick Mahomes. The Buffalo defensive back goes up in the air with the Kansas City receiver. They come down both with the ball. It looks like the Buffalo guy had it, but the rule is if it's a tie, then it goes to the offense. Well, that's fine. But the ball, as many calls have you seen in the NFL over the years? The ball, you got to complete the process, is what they say. The ball hit the ground when they went down, all the way down to the ground. The ball, it was in their hand, but it hit the ground. You know what I'm saying? It rested on the ground. They called it a catch for the Chiefs. Now, I'm not a Cowboys fan. I've watched Dez Bryant make a great catch that probably would have won a game for the Cowboys in a playoff game against Green Bay. And, they called it an incomplete pass. Calvin Johnson, same thing. Jesse James with Pittsburgh. It's ridiculous, the double standards sometimes with some of these teams that get calls. And I'm not one of those that says the NFL is rigged. I'm not going to say that. It's not scripted. But some of these teams that get these calls it's crazy. And Justin talking about the tush push. In high school, we're going to flag it. I know that because we got flags a couple of times for trying to do that.
Yeah, it's allowed in college. We more or less did it in the North Texas game. It was more of I would say less of a less of a tush push, and more of a pull him out of the pile.
Oh,
If
yeah.
you
Yeah,
guys
we
remember
get that,
Rajay's
that
long
Rajay
run,
run.
yeah, against North Texas, beautiful, beautiful run. Glad to see it happen, but
He
that
pulled
was a
him
bit
out of
of
there.
a push and pull on that play.
Yeah,
But
it's a little different when you're pulling than pushing too. Yeah, I mean it's
yeah, it sure is. Stevie. It's a,
Jesus Christ. And on that note,
that's the difference between being alone. Anyway, anyway, I was going to bring this up. We were talking about Raji. Um, it just popped in my head, and then we'll start to wrap this up. But you look at Rajay's run in that bowl game, and people don't want to give Nash credit for the interception because of the way he acted afterwards, and since fourth actions he entered the portal, and wasn't picked up by anybody. So, but Nash's play also. But we're gonna focus on Raji's play. Can you think of one play? You know, in East Carolina, we'll stick to East Carolina at least to begin with. That changed just how the season will be thought about. You know, if he don't make that touchdown run and we lose to State in the bowl game, then we blew a lead in the bowl. We finished 7-6, one game over 500. We lose our last two in a row. Now everybody's wondering, did we make the right decision? Because that's just people's nature. Where Rajay makes that run, now suddenly instead of losing two in a row, we won 5 out of our last 6.
Yeah.
We won our bowl game. Can you think of a single play in ECU history that made such a difference on how the season was viewed? Yeah, people immediately go Luke Fisher's touchdown in the Peach Bowl. We still would have had a great season. We would have been 10-2, and probably still finished in the top 25. But top 10 finish, and it becoming a magical season is what the Luke Fisher touchdown meant. So I guess I answered my own question. But in recent history, can you think of a single play that changed trajectory or how a season felt as much as that Rajay touchdown?
I'll go back to that season, and I've got 2 plays. And I mean, you talking about recent, but I'm thinking 2 plays from the Peach Bowl season that without those plays, we may not go to the Peach Bowl. We may end up in.
Well, sure. You got Blake against Pitt, and
Blake's 2-point conversion, and then Grandison's interception against Virginia Tech.
Yes, of course. Yeah, but again, those are 2 plays, and now we're talking 3 plays in the same season. So I'm talking about a single play in a season.
Okay, I got you.
That just because that play, I don't know. It's just something I thought of. Anyway, it doesn't change the point that without that run by Rajay, that the season would have been thought of as 7-6. Now we've lost 2 in a row, and it changes the narrative and the feeling of the season completely.
Yeah, it's amazing how one play can change something. Just like you said. Well, we finished the season a lot. We lost 2 in a row. We lost to State. We blew a lead, and then you look at, like you said, we won 5 out of the last 6. We made the right call hiring Blake. We did this.
We beat NC State. We beat a Power 4 opponent. We won a bowl game. Yeah.
It's amazing how much that can change the whole outlook of things.
Yeah, and go ahead.
Justin saying I'm the reason that they flagged the tush push. I don't know. I've never really called it that much. I mean, a couple of times. And I got flagged both times for it.
Stevie's the reason. Stevie started it.
It's the Stevie Fly rule.
That's right. At least
what the referees talk about. I'm sure there's more crap that they talk about than me calling a tush push about Stevie Fly.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
And in the world of 8-man college football here in North Carolina high school ranks, is Stevie Fly notorious? Do you have a temper on the sideline?
I can. I don't know if Justin's ever refereed.
I think any coach can.
Okay, look, I mean, I don't. I have only had a couple of games where I've and I didn't really feel bad about it, but I've got penalties called on me. That's all. I've only had 2 flags, but they were worth it. I mean, they proved a point. But
well, I mean, anybody can get pushed to the point of anger, whether you're on the sideline or in the stands. God knows that if fans could have flags thrown on them, I'd have been.
now we've had a few fans before.
Well, I see at the high school level, maybe that they don't want things to get too out of hand.
Justin, have you ever refereed one of my games? Justin saying me on the sidelines is brutal. You threw a flag on me when? When did I? Anyway, Johnny Robertson, I don't want to ignore you. I'm sorry, bud. The punching of the ball thing is getting ridiculous. Players are missing the ball, punching the arms and the body. Why is it okay to get punched if you're a ball carrier when it's not legal to punch any other position player?
Yeah, well, I mean, trying to punch the ball out, I guess is intent, Johnny. They're technically punching the ball, but if it's getting to the point where players are getting punched, then it probably needs to be cleaned up.
Justin saying he's definitely thrown a flag on me. I don't remember Justin throwing a flag on me. I don't remember. Had me at Wayne Christian. I didn't get a flag on that in that game. Ain't that your team anyway? Yeah, that we should. I'm gonna have you reported for that. But anyway,
Yeah,
as far as the
one-sided
punch,
there. One-sided.
yeah, that would be a conflict of interest there.
Indeed, he can't call it.
But yeah, as far as punching goes, I mean, several times. There was a couple times tonight in the Philadelphia Washington game. They did that, got the ball, and punched the ball free. But yeah, wink, wink, Justin. But I mean, it's part of the game. I mean, when you're punching at the ball, and now you can't make it like obvious where you're saying you're trying to punch the ball and you punch a guy up top or around his chest or if you're stupid enough to try to punch a guy in his helmet, that's dumb on your part. But I don't know. There was another play tonight in the Philly game where the Philly nose guard jumped off sides and put his whole hand into a Washington guy's face mask and just got called from encroachment.
Wow.
So, I mean, I thought that was illegal hands to the face, but anyway, this Buffalo Kansas City game is 6 minutes left. It's all tied up. Buffalo just went down the field and scored a touchdown and tied it up. So it looks like it's going to be whoever gets the ball last. And Kansas City, they might want to try to run some clock here and try to see if they can get down the field and score. I am not pulling for Kansas City. By the way, I'm pulling for Buffalo.
You're a Swiftie. Jessica's pulling for Kansas City, my lovely wife, because she
Good
thinks.
Lord.
Yeah, she
check
thinks.
Check her papers.
We gonna have her deported. We call Trump.
You're in the insane asylum.
Yeah, she thinks Patrick Mahomes is no, not Patrick Mahomes. Who? Kelsey. Travis. Okay, Swift's girl or boyfriend. Travis Kelsey. She's
You talking about Travis Swift, not Travis Kelsey. He
yes,
doesn't
Travis.
have that Kelsey.
Okay,
He took her last name.
Took her last name.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I guess she says she's not a Swiftie. She's a Kelsey.
Justin is saying he did this before he had interest with Wayne Christian. We got beat 36-8. I do remember that game. That was a game where we played with 7 players, if I'm not mistaken.
You played 8-man football with 7 players.
We had to. We started off with 8. One of our guys got hurt, and we ended up playing with 7. It was a 7-on-7 game.
And you got
if I remember
you
right.
don't remember getting flagged in that game?
No, I don't remember getting a flag. I may be wrong. I didn't get a flag. I didn't say anything to them that night because I was just at that point of the season. I was just ready to get it. That game especially, I was trying to get out of there with my with the players. There were players I had healthy in one piece. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you just wanted to keep your team healthy.
Yeah.
So Justin misremember throwing a flag on you.
May have thrown it on somebody else, but on me.
Was not Stevie. Stevie was innocent. Jesus.
It could have been. It could have been one of my players, but not me. I mean, and I'm not just talking about a penalty for like holding or anything. It could have been a
personal foul.
Yeah, it could have been unsportsmanlike. But it won't be.
Maybe maybe it was your get back coach.
Get what?
Like you've never heard of a get back coach?
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
We don't have that. Most of the time, I count instead of counting to see if I've got 8 on the field. I just count to see if I've got 2 or 3 on the sidelines. That's easier.
Yeah, I guess that would be.
Good
with the amount of players you have, so it's a world of 8-man football at the private school ranks here. Well, not even just private schools. You got public schools now playing 8-man in Eastern North Carolina.
Columbia and Mattamuskeet. We played them this year.
That's crazy. It's just I guess it's two things: just kids not wanting to play ball, and then population issues in somewhere like Terrell County in Columbia. But all right, Stevie. We touched on you guys. If you're tuning in late, we talked about all Pirates earlier in the podcast. To recap things, Pirates on a 3-game win streak in basketball. Play Temple this coming up Saturday to try to get 4 in a row. Pirates hosted 3 big commits this week: 2 defensive linemen, 1 from the SEC, 1 junior college All-American, and a junior college wide receiver that's considered the best wide receiver in all of junior college. As of right now, none of the 3 committed. Baseball season is coming up in a few weeks. Joining us every Sunday night will be Coach Paul Hill of D.H. Conley, former ECU Pirate baseball player, former North Carolina Wesleyan baseball player. Paul Hill will bring a lot to the show. Join us every Sunday night for extra innings starting in baseball season. Next Sunday, Dave Richmond will be back with us, and hopefully Stevie will join us again. Maybe Matt will also join us as we talk football. For Stevie Fly, Stevie, don't forget you got to close this thing out. I am
Yes.
Kyle Barber. You have been watching and listening to the Sports Objective Podcast. Good night and go Pirates.
You're watching the Sports Objective, the podcast for Pirates.